What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have an amazing episode for everyone today. Tech stocks are exploding, Bitcoin is tanking, and we even have a little bit of movement with AMC. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best plays to watch out for in the market right now. And at the end of today's video, we have an $8 million trade, so make sure you guys stick around to the end. And guys, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, let's get right into today's episode.
Yeah, we actually had a fantastic day in the overall market. We had tech stocks popping. We even had value stocks coming up, like a lot of the bank stocks. We can go check out Bank of America. It was popping today. The QQQ ran up to all-time highs today with a pretty big move, actually, breaking out solidly above that high of a couple days ago around 346.50, just really flying up, touching even 348 towards the end of the day. And then we have the SPY also ripping up, trying to get to all-time highs here. But man, the SPY is at a great past 2 days. Ever since hitting that low around 414, it's just rocketed right back up to around 424. And we're honestly seeing a good recovery out of a lot of stocks and the overall market, especially over the past 2 days. But man, we're even seeing stocks like Boeing start to really recover, and just a lot of these stocks, out of the overall market, especially tech stocks like Apple and Microsoft. I know Microsoft was hitting an all-time highs today.
Absolutely. And let's talk about Apple. This stock has been exploding. I know you had a great call out with it yesterday. I think it looks really good. And especially when you look at like a daily chart of the QQQ, it is breaking its all-time high. And even if you just look at other tech stocks in general, like Microsoft that broke its all-time high, and even Facebook, Apple is lagging a good amount, and they are a really solid company. So I think that Apple has a lot of potential to pop back up. And honestly, if we keep this type of momentum in the market, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple's close to like 140 in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. And there's definitely going to be some up and down movement there. But I think that Apple has a lot of potential as well and a lot of momentum. And whenever we're looking at it, Apple, especially today, started to really break out above that resistance right there around like 132.50, right around that area. And it just flew way up today, all the way up to 134. So honestly, there was a huge move out of Apple, and it just looks like it has that momentum to continue. And I like how it closed very strong at the end of the day and held its ground up there right around 134, and it wasn't falling down, at close or anything like that. So it closed up very strong. And honestly, it's going to be a great day tomorrow. And we're going to have to see how the market ends up moving, because there's definitely a lot of stocks poised to kind of break out here.
Absolutely. And then, Tom, we can't forget about AMC. So I know it had an extremely volatile day. It gapped down a little bit, tanked around open, and it came right back up. It still is below that $60 support level, and it actually fell below the $52 support level earlier this morning, but it held it pretty strong, and it's bouncing back up. What do you see with this one? Do you have any levels for us? Like, I know it's really risky. Some people have some crazy price targets on it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that the main thing to watch for right now is obviously at $60 resistance. At the end of the day today, and in after hours, I should say, it kind of double topped here around like 58.75. I think if we could break that tomorrow, we might run up to somewhere around 60. But I think overall, we just need to be very careful with AMC in the short term. On the daily, it's starting to look like it's up there pretty high, and it's kind of consolidating in between like the $50 support and like the $65 resistance. So just keep in mind that it's just trading like between there right now. It's not necessarily flat because that's such a large range, but keep in mind it's just kind of trading flatly between those levels. So just look out. If it starts to break out one way or the other, I think it'll start to be a little bit better of a stock to trade. But for right now, it just kind of seems like the hype is slowing down a little bit, but hopefully we can start to see some movement up above that resistance tomorrow. And we might start to actually see a solid breakout, because I know like coming into this week, I was not expecting to see AMC start to sell off. So hopefully we kind of get that momentum back into it.
Good stuff. So, guys, I know everyone has their own opinion on AMC, and we're curious to hear your opinion. Do you like AMC? Do you think AMC is going to hit $100 or $500 or $1,000? Or do you think it's going to tank back down to 10, 20? Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. I want to hear your guys' price targets in the comments down below. But then, Tom, what is going on with Bitcoin? I was watching this earlier today, and it was really selling off. What's going on with this?
Man, this is not a good sign with Bitcoin, but the good news is that Bitcoin did start to come up a little bit towards the end of the day, which was nice. But man, Bitcoin started to really fall off and fell below the key 30,000 support. And this is all due to pretty much all the China news that's been going on lately. They like extended some parts of the ban yesterday, and it really hurt Bitcoin. And that just kind of continued into that movement that we saw this morning down below that 30,000 support. We ran all the way down on the futures to 28,800 on the dot, and then ended up flying all the way back up to 33,000. So it was a pretty volatile move. And one thing I want you guys to keep in mind of is that the way that it kind of shot back up, I think shows me that a lot of people came in and were buying it, down here around that 30,000 support. So, we might start to see a bounce back up off of these levels. I don't know. But whenever we go out to like a max daily, it did kind of have another support down there around 29,000, kind of around where it hit today. So honestly, we might kind of see like a double bottom and a move back up here. But I know a lot of people have been looking at it to kind of buy the dip. And just keep in mind, Bitcoin can definitely get very volatile. In the past, it moved from 20K down to 3K. People are saying that this is a totally different crash than the last time, but it's definitely affecting some stocks like Coinbase, Mara, and Riot as well.
For sure. So I like Bitcoin and Ethereum for the long term. Nobody can catch the bottom, not even Warren Buffett. So I'm just going to be slowly buying into these two cryptos. Like I said, no one knows the bottom. And I think the best way to go is just to dollar cost average, which, just buy a little bit every couple weeks or so. So that's my plan. And then, Tom, do we have any other major news in the market today?
Not really. Today was just a pretty slow day. Really, besides the big movement that we saw out of the tech sector and out of the S&P 500, it's nice to see those banks kind of coming back. And I would say that's pretty much the main news of the day.
All right, well, let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. Today's member of the day is Trading Lifestyle. Huge shout out, Trading Lifestyle. Thank you so much for being a super active member of the chat and a great supporter on YouTube for such a long time. I know you've been with us for quite a while, so thank you so much for all of your constant support and positivity. Tom and I really appreciate it. But now let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Facebook.
Yep. And with Facebook, go ahead and make it break above that 340 resistance that has been pretty big for us in the past. And Facebook is sitting right around these all-time highs right now. And if they break out above 340, we'll be hitting those new highs. So definitely look for solid movement. I think that this could be a pretty big runner tomorrow if we do start to break out.
All right. And then with the next one, we have Apple.
AAPL, of course, they had a great day today. Let's go ahead and get them on the chart, but make them go ahead and break up above 134.20.
All right. And then with the last one, we have Twitter.
TWTR, make them actually break out above 64.10.
Sounds good. So we are watching these three plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But we have to highlight the bots call out with Twitter from today. So our bot called out the Twitter 63 strike calls this morning around, you could say like 10, 12, you could say like 11:20 a.m. Eastern time. And these Twitter calls were around $100 each. And they ran all the way up to $161 each. If you want to trade with the bot, Tom and myself, every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below, and you'll also save about $40. We have daily day trades, swing trades, order flow bots, so many different custom bots. It's definitely a great program overall. And the worst thing is if you don't like it, you can cancel it anytime. And then on top of that, Tom had an amazing call out with Apple yesterday, called it out for around $400 each yesterday, the Apple 130 strike calls that expire on July 16th, and they ran all the way up to 515 today. So that was an amazing play. Like I said, it's the first link in the description down below, and you'll save about $40 off, and you can cancel at any time. So definitely check it out. But now let's get right into the $8 million trade for this. Actually, not this Friday. It actually has a little bit of time this time, Tom. So we're looking at the Apple 120 strike calls for July 16th. So this one has a little bit of time. Like I said, these options are in the money. Because of that, I'm definitely going to say that the smart money is longing this play. And I think Apple's chart just looks good in general.
Yeah, and those calls, like you said, they're really deep in the money, all the way down there at that like 120 strike. And I'll be honest, I'd love to see Apple at 120 again, just because I'd love to grab more shares. But man, that's definitely pretty far in there. So I would say they're long it as well. And like we've been saying, Apple is looking really hot, like it might continue up again tomorrow. So I think that they're definitely long it. And they're also coming up towards that resistance around like 138 to 140. And I think that we could hit that possibly, maybe towards like the end of this week or next week. But it definitely looks very hot right now. And it's just starting to break out above some of these key resistance levels and some of these key SMAs that we've kind of been sitting on for like the past couple weeks.
All right, well, let's get right into our questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have Trading Lifestyle saying, what do you guys think of bank stocks going into this week with the stress test results Thursday? I'm personally in WFC calls. So I like the setup. It's not my favorite setup in the world. I like it overall, though. These types of catalysts, like with the stress test for the banks, they are always kind of like a 50-50 shot. I have been seeing some relatively bullish flow into bank stocks, which makes me a little bit bullish. But at the same time, these types of catalysts are pretty hard to trade. So I'm just like neutral slash slightly bearish for this setup.
Yeah, me too. It's just one of those situations where it almost seems like we could have like a little bit of like a dead cat bounce here on the chart. These banks they were falling a ton and now they just came straight up for like the past 3 days. So I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see some more downwards movement. And I would definitely be careful of it. I think that the way the banks were falling just show us that there's something fundamentally wrong with like what's going on right now with the interest rates and everything like that. I think we'll just have to see like how they continue to move, going forward here, especially like off their supports. Like JP Morgan and a lot of their banks are just right on support. So just keep that in mind going forward.
Yeah, and anything can happen with these types of catalysts, like especially in today's market. Like we've really seen the market has been very interesting over the past month, especially. So anything can happen. Always trust your gut, but I don't think it's a horrible setup. And then we have Dan saying, "I'm the biggest scrub. I bought 1,500 shares of Wish at $12.30. It dropped to $11.70, and then he sold, and then it pops up. Worst day ever." So you know what, Dan? It happens to all of us, I'll say. Like, no one can time anything perfectly. And I know it sometimes seems like the market is just waiting for you to sell, waiting for you to sell your shares, and then the next day the stock will pop up. And I think it's pretty safe to say that that has happened to everyone who's been trading for long enough. And, live and learn. And even sometimes the best traders, have situations like that. So it's just how the market is sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And I've even seen, situations where like Warren Buffett, like I've seen situations where he's sold Bank of America at the exact bottom and then Bank of America goes flying up just a couple weeks later. So even he can get it wrong sometimes.
For sure. I mean, look at the airlines. Remember, he sold a lot of airlines last year, and they ended up popping up. So, it happens. And then we have Sean saying, "Great video. Thoughts on plug for this week? Thanks, guys." And then I commented neutral because of earnings. And then Sean goes, "So you're saying you don't like to play the lottery?" So yeah, they have earnings pretty soon. Like I said, I'm neutral on them. I'm not really big into playing earnings because literally it's so hard to accurately and consistently predict earnings. And even if you do predict the right direction, like there's a good chance that like the market is priced or the options market is priced in such a way where you can still lose. So I'm just going to be neutral, but overall their chart does look pretty good.
Yeah, the setup looks pretty decent. And it seems like that those earnings are really pushing them up here. And if they can start to break out above this resistance around like 35 bucks, we might start to see a pretty big move.
All right. And then with the last comment, we have Daniel saying, "Hey guys, what are your thoughts with PTRA?" So this is a recent IPO. It literally only had, what is that, like five trading or six trading days already. So it's not for me. There's just not enough data for it. And I'm just neutral on it.
Yeah, me too. PTRA definitely seems like a really good stock. I mean, I don't know what they do, but off of IPO, I've seen a lot worse setups. It seems like today it had a lot of momentum at the end of the day and it had a lot of volume come in. So I think it looks like a decent setup here for tomorrow, but I don't know what they do for the longer run. I'm not sure I'd hold it or anything, but if anything, I would just treat it as like a momentum play for tomorrow. Like if they could pass above that high or break out above like $18, I think it might be a pretty good option to pick some up. But in the end, I don't know what they do, so I probably wouldn't trade it.
So here's a description from the company itself. Their mission is to advance EV technology to deliver the world's best performing commercial vehicles.
Oh,
So,
now it sounds good.
right? No, the company says, the company designs and manufactures electric transit buses and electric charging systems. So I think the sector is great, but honestly, I'd have to do a deep dive into the company. I know that, we all know that EV stocks have been exploding over the past year, and there's some stocks that are a little bit sketchy with like just electric vehicles and like charging and batteries and all that stuff. So I'm just going to stay away from them for now. I'll have my eyes on them, but they're not my favorite setup. But Tom, do you have any last minute stocks or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
Man, I'm definitely going to be watching. We talked about it in the momentum plays, but Facebook is looking very solid today. It's just on the daily chart. It's really holding up here and following, this key blue trend line, and it's staying up above a lot of these support levels that we've been seeing here. And it just looks like it's primed for a breakout. It kind of tried today. It hit right around like 339.90 and then came right back down to the downside. So we're going to have to see if it can break out above 340 tomorrow or not. But honestly, Facebook looks like one of the better setups in the market to me. And it's just nice because it's in that tech sector as well, which is just ripping. And the QQQ is at all-time highs. So I'll definitely be watching that as well.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you want daily options trading signals every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below. You'll save about 40 bucks. Daily options, day trades, swing trades, order flow bots, a ton of custom bots. Definitely check it out, and you can cancel at any time. And if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.